Imagine two neighbors, Alice and Bob. Alice is a skilled potter, her hands transforming clay into beautiful vases and mugs. Bob, an avid gardener, cultivates vibrant flowers and juicy tomatoes in his backyard. Both work diligently, adding their unique touch to the world. Alice sells her pottery at local markets, the earnings allowing her to buy Bob's fresh produce. Bob, in turn, uses the money from his sales to purchase Alice's handcrafted mugs for his morning coffee. This simple exchange illustrates a fundamental concept: the creation of value. Both Alice and Bob contribute to the economy, not just through their labor, but by the worth they generate. Their activities, though seemingly small, form part of a much larger tapestry, the gross domestic product or GDP of their nation. But what exactly is GDP and why should we care about it? GDP is like a giant measuring stick. It quantifies the total value of all goods and services produced within a country's borders over a specific period. Think of it as the grand total of everything a nation produces, from the cars rolling off assembly lines to the haircuts at your local barbershop. It's a snapshot of a nation's economic activity. Understanding a country's GDP is crucial. It tells us how much wealth is being generated. A growing GDP generally signals a healthy economy, one where businesses are thriving and people are finding jobs. Conversely, a shrinking GDP can indicate economic troubles, with businesses struggling and unemployment rising. But GDP isn't a one-size-fits-all metric. It comes in different flavors, each offering a unique perspective on a nation's economic landscape. Imagine trying to compare the size of economies across different eras or continents. It gets tricky, right? That's where the different types of GDP come in. Nominal GDP, the most straightforward measure, calculates the total value of goods and services using current market prices. However, it doesn't account for inflation, the sneaky rise in prices over time. Real GDP steps in to solve this dilemma. It adjusts for inflation, providing a more accurate picture of actual economic growth. Think of it as comparing apples to apples instead of apples to oranges from a different season. Finally, there's GDP per capita, which divides the total GDP by the country's population. This metric offers insight into the average economic well-being of individuals within a nation. Understanding these distinctions is key to grasping the nuances of economic growth and comparing nations on a level playing field. GDP is more than just a number on an economist's spreadsheet. It's a vital sign, a pulse that reveals the health of an economy. Policymakers rely on GDP data to make informed decisions about taxes, spending, and interest rates. Businesses use it to forecast demand, make investment choices, and strategize for the future. For the average citizen, GDP growth often translates to a better standard of living, more jobs, higher wages, and increased access to goods and services. It fuels the engine of progress, driving innovation, infrastructure development, and social programs. However, just like relying solely on your pulse to assess your overall health, focusing solely on GDP can be misleading. It's vital to recognize that GDP doesn't tell the whole story. GDP, for all its merits, has its limitations. It's like a map that shows you the roads and buildings but doesn't reveal the stories of the people who live there. GDP doesn't measure happiness, social well-being, or environmental sustainability. It can't quantify the value of clean air, the strength of social connections, or the richness of a nation's cultural heritage. For example, a country experiencing rapid GDP growth might also be grappling with rising income inequality, environmental degradation, or a decline in overall well-being. These crucial aspects of human progress remain invisible to the GDP lens. Therefore, while GDP is a valuable tool for measuring economic output, it should be viewed as one piece of a much larger puzzle. From the coffee you sip in the morning to the smartphone in your pocket, GDP is intricately woven into the fabric of our lives. Understanding this economic indicator empowers us to become more informed citizens, consumers, and participants in the global marketplace. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, It's crucial to look beyond the numbers and consider the broader implications of economic growth. By recognizing both the strengths and limitations of GDP, we can strive for a future where progress is measured not just in dollars and cents, but in the well-being of both humanity and the planet we call home. So the next time you hear about GDP on the news or engage in a discussion about the economy, take a moment to reflect on its deeper meaning and its profound impact on your world.